And now there's a new form of cyber matchmaking, college networking websites. Is this perhaps the next big thing? In Hartford, Dan Stillman, co-creator of Wesleyan University's Westmatch.com, and then in Watertown, Massachusetts, Mark Zuckerberg, creator of Harvard's TheFacebook.com.
Instagram, you know the one. It makes it almost impossible to take a bad shot. If you don't know it, check it out. It is walking off with the top honors from Apple, which calls it the best of 2011.
You started with 5 tweeters.
Yes.
And now you've got something like 40 million.
But a huge number.
In your wildest dreams 3 years ago, did you have any idea that this many people would be using Twitter?
I knew that the concept would be huge, but we did not know that it would be adopted so suddenly.
The 2000s were a time of change. Of course, everyone says that about every period in history, but this time it really is true. The mid to late 2000s, say 2006 to 2012, were times marked by the arrival of the iPod, Blockbuster, the Obama administration, the collapse of Wall Street and the financial crisis of 2008, and war in the Middle East. All of these things might lead to our definition of the mid-2000s. However, I'm leaving out 2 major aspects of this time, and that would be the internet and the rise of social media.
You're feeling guilty Catholic, pretty, picturesque Facebook status, happy family and happy marriage, like the magazine pages.
Imagine if you could bring somebody back from the dead who died in the 1980s and try to explain the internet. You would have a hard time doing it. They couldn't comprehend it unless they lived with it. And so nobody foresaw the rise of Google. Nobody saw the rise of a Facebook.
Sure, the official birthday of the internet might have been in the 80s, but its functionality was really only getting good in the mid to late 2000s. The largest indicator of growth and advancement of the internet? Social media. During these years in the 2000s, we began to see social media play an active and very central role in our day-to-day lives. Facebook was created in 2004, Twitter in 2006, followed by Instagram in 2010 and Snapchat in 2011. These social platforms were rising like weeds out of gaps in a concrete sidewalk, and they quickly became a central part of our lives. To demonstrate just how fast these companies grew, here's a chart from our World in Data demonstrating the insane growth trajectory of various social media platforms. As you can see, these social platforms grew exponentially. For example, it only took Facebook 4 years to reach 1 billion users. When in the history of anything have people adopted something so fast? We certainly didn't adopt cars that fast, or the telephone, or even cities. There isn't a single city in the world with 1 billion people, not even 100 million, and yet social media garnered that amount in just a few years. Today, social media is an essential tool to our world. Many of us couldn't imagine life without it, or could we? I mean, after all of these people have downloaded and used social media, shouldn't we have benefited in some way as a society? What is the point, after all, of social media? Sure, the initial point of social media was to connect people, and it did that. But what about all the other aspects of social media? The bad ones. From the surface, most things on social media seem great. We are more connected than ever, we have access to whatever information we might want, and there are lots of things to entertain us, from funny cat videos to interesting political points. However, beneath the surface, social media is often much different and much darker.
IG stands for Instagram, but it also stands for Instagreed.
Facebook had to postpone the rolling out of their new app directed at children under the age of 13 and younger, because of widespread outrage and the barrage of criticism that Facebook was facing after the Wall Street Journal revealed that Facebook was well aware of the harmful effects caused by Instagram.
For years, my daily routine used to go as so. Before I had even turned on the lights, I would reach for my phone and start scrolling, watching, commenting, and of course, liking. And it has definitely made me more insecure. Teens
blame Instagram for increases in rate of anxiety and depression.
I think deep down, everyone, if they don't get a lot of likes on your photo, you'll think, why?
It just so turns out social media platforms leverage the same neural circuitry as slot machines and drugs to keep us satisfied and coming back for even more.
You know the feeling. Every time you get a notification on social media, what do? You click. You want to see who, how many, and why people liked something about you. But what happens when those likes don't come in? Or instead of likes, you get comments? Or you start comparing your likes and comments to other people's likes and comments? The like is the main driver of social media. Everything on social media gets passed through this like filter. Things that get a lot of likes, you remember, and things that don't fall by the wayside. In many ways, this system is based on numbers. It's a numbers game. There's a correlation to be made between our mental state and the number of likes we get or don't. All of these symptoms listed before, loneliness, depression, even thoughts of suicide, the majority of them link back to one common cause, the like. Studies show that getting only a few likes on social media can threaten social status, therefore garnering emotional distress and creating heightened fears of rejection. But the like works both ways. Of course, you can get a few likes, or you can get thousands, if not millions. But once you get one of those likes, you often want more. The like has been directly tied to social media addiction.
When someone likes an Instagram post or any content that you share, it's a little bit like taking a drug. As far as your brain is concerned, it's a very similar experience. Now, the reason why is because it's not guaranteed that you're going to get likes on your posts. And it's the unpredictability of that process that makes it so addictive.
So what can be done? Can we just simply erase likes from social media? They are the foundation of social media. They make it work. How can we replace something so central to a platform shared by billions? The answer is we can't. We can't replace the like, and we can't replace social media. If we were to replace the like on social media, there'd be no organization, no engagement, no willingness to share, as people would have no motivation to post anything if there's no validation or recognition in return. So we're stuck with the like. But how do we live with it? Well, search the internet for advice on how to manage the balance between social media and your mental health, and you'll find a range of advice from limiting time to deleting apps entirely to unfollowing people you no longer engage with. All of this is good advice, and it may be very effective. However, most of the advice you find on the internet misses out on one important thing you can do to manage your experience on social media. Everything on social media surrounds the actions of others. Sure, you might post something about yourself on your page, but at the end of the day, we are seeking the actions of others and not of ourselves. We seek what others post, what they comment, who they follow, and of course, what they like. Maybe they like us, maybe they don't. The point remains, social media is just that, social. We don't use social media for ourselves, we use it for others. Is there anything wrong with that? On the surface, no, not at all. We are profoundly social creatures. However, too often, we are so focused on the actions of others that we pay no attention to ourselves. Think about it. The last time you posted something on social media, did you do it for others or did you do it for you? Do it for you.